Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I trust you are all well and healthy and happy. In fact, I know. Today is an exciting day. Hold on a second here. Let me turn that off. There you go. Today's an exciting day because we finish up the book As Man Thinketh by James Allen. And what an incredible book this is. When you really break it down and you try to understand how everything is working and how things work, because a lot of us wonder why we are here, what is the purpose of life, what is the phenomena of life, as some of the other books I've read say. And I'm just breaking this down as my interpretation. I'm not saying that this is what I'm saying is concrete. That you choose. You choose whatever you want to think when you listen to me talk about this or whatever. And that's the beautiful thing about life, because you choose everything you want to experience. So the last section is called Serenity. And this is going to teach us about, it teaches you about calmness and, knowing how to address a situation besides the way we were conditioned or what we previously encountered through our life, whether it be through family members, through television, through friends, whoever. And when you really stop and think, about how you want to react to something, you react the way you want to react. You don't have to react the way your dad react, or the way you see other people react to something. You don't have to react that way, because you don't have to. So let's get into it. Okay, first paragraph. Calmness of mind is one of the beautiful jewels of wisdom. It is the result of long and patient effort and self-control. Its presence is an indication of ripened experience and more than ordinary knowledge of the laws and operations of thought. Calmness of the mind is one of the beautiful jewels of wisdom. So, it is the result of long and patient effort and self-control. And that's one of the things I've continuously been working on. I have 2 kids, I have 2 dogs, I have, experience things where you automatically just want to get mad, or even work related if you're like a supervisor or whatever, and things aren't going the right way, everybody assumes that the best way is to get mad. Well, as we all know, nobody responds to that type of engagement, or because as a superior, we should be building, if you're a supervisor or whatever, but as that, in that position, you should be building your employees up and not breaking them down. Yes, pointing out mistakes and stuff like that are vital for learning, but don't always focus on the problem. Say, okay, we had this situation, but this is how you can fix it, and this is how you can avoid it from happening again. As long as you do that, then they should understand that you're trying to help them. That's what I think, anyways. Its presence is an indication of ripened experience and of a more than ordinary knowledge of the laws and operations of thought. So that leads back to just think before you act, because usually if you act before you think, then you're going to do what your brain has been programmed to do already. So be aware of what you're thinking, and be aware of how you're about to react to something. Okay, next one. A man becomes calm in the measure that he understands himself as a thought-evolved being. For such knowledge necessitates the understanding of others as the result of thought. And as he develops a right understanding and sees ever more clearly the internal relations of things by the action of cause and effect, he ceases to fuss, fume, worry, and grieve. He remains poised, steadfast, and serene. That's a good one. Because, and I've stated this in other videos, I used to be one of those people that would complain and whine and whatever about anything depending on what was happening. But then in the end, you only do that at that point in time. But then you notice if your mindset changes and you focus on something else, things get better, right? So, as a thought evolved being, your thought evolved being. So, what are your thoughts? How do you respond to situations, experiences, and circumstances? Because how you respond to that will determine what you're going to experience. If you're about to experience a situation, say for instance, I experienced something. Good morning, Nadia. Good morning. I love you. Anyways, so if you go into a situation and, every single time, and it could be even something that's happened before. If you go to deal with a coworker, or even, for instance, I'll use an example. I was driving home and I had a lady back out right into the middle of the road. Right into the middle of the road, like right in front of me. Now, previously, before being aware of what I was thinking, most people would honk, swear, maybe even get out of the car and get mad. But what good will come of that? What good will come of that? I don't think nothing. No good will come of that. So for such knowledge necessitates the understanding of others as a result of thought. As he develops a right understanding and sees ever more clearly the internal relations of things by action of cause and effect, he ceases to fuss, fume, worry. So the cause, if you go into a situation and your thoughts, which is the cause, if your thoughts are pointed towards anger and hate and whatever you're thinking, the effects are just going to be the outcome of that. So whenever you go into a situation, if you ever yell, what is that person going to do? They're going to get mad and you're going to yell back. So your thought was, I'm going to yell at this person because they did something bad. Then you yell at them, and then now they're projecting that back at you. So there's the effect. Now they're yelling back at you. And now you've created this tension. And now this tension, you can feel it. You know how people say you can feel the tension in the air? That's it. So, remain poised, steadfast, and serene. Be aware of what you're thinking before you enter a situation. Or if you're in that situation, you got to be quick. You got to think fast. Okay, next one. The calm man having learned how to govern himself, knows how to adapt himself to others. And they, in turn, reverence his spiritual strength. They feel that they can learn from him and rely upon him. The more tranquil a man becomes, the greater is his success, his influence, his power for good. Even the ordinary trader will find his business prosperity increase as he develops a greater self-control and equanimity, for people will always prefer to deal with a man whose demeanor is equitable. So, the more tranquil a man becomes, the greater is his success. So, the more tranquil a man... Well, because when you're tranquil as a state, you're calm. You're not going to blow things out of proportion. Then, you're not going to make a big deal over something so small. Especially when you know the solution. If you have something happen and you already know the solution, why make that thing huge when you already know the solution? And that's some of the other paragraphs. They say, or some of the other books I've read, as soon as you touch the solution to a problem, the problem should disappear, and that is it. Because now you've figured out the answer, so why go back and keep thinking about the problem? It will only persist. So focus on this. You got the solution. If you've encountered something before and you already know the solution, then boom, there should be no as they say, beating a dead horse, right? If you know the solution, okay, it's gone. That's it. It's done. Carry on. You fixed it. On to the next thing. And that's true. People would rather deal with somebody who is, a more enjoyable person to be around. Whenever you go into a store and you can tell somebody, doesn't have that, hey, how's it going? How you doing? They kind of just be like, oh, what do you want? Well, guess what? You're probably going to be like, I'm not going to shop here. This guy's looking at me like, what do you want? I don't want to help you. Well, then there, boom. They just lost money. They just lost money. And I'll give you an example. I remember I went into a store and I was looking at a musical instrument. And I wanted to try this musical instrument before I bought it. And what they said was they judged my character based upon my appearance, assuming that I didn't have enough income to pay for said instrument. And they wouldn't allow me to play the instrument because of that. Well, they just lost my business. I haven't been back to that shop since because of that. And that's all it takes, because people don't want to experience that. They don't want to experience that. You can't judge a book by its cover. You got to get to know, you got to open the book and start reading it before you know what the book has to offer, right? So, and that's one of the biggest things that I've always been, I've worked on a lot since then. I'm talking to more people. I'm more, the other day I was driving through the Tim Hortons, and I stopped and I asked this employee there. I asked her how her day was going, and I couldn't hear her, so I did. I shut the truck off and I talked to her. And what she said to me after I talked to her about this was, "Oh my God, thank you so much for asking about my day. I feel relieved being able to talk about it." That's all it takes. People are so enveloped in their own mental conversations that they need that interaction with somebody. And when they feel they're not getting it, so I just changed that whole girl's mood. That whole woman's mood last night. She had 2 people calling sick, and it was just going to be her at 8:00. So from 8 to 10 or whatever time Tim Hortons closes, she was going to be by herself. But I'm like, you know what? You have a good attitude. And if you approach this with a good attitude, things will work out. And she felt so much better. I could see the look in her eyes and the smile on her face, even though she was wearing a mask. I changed her whole night just by asking how her day is going. That's all it takes. It's amazing. I couldn't believe that. After I drove through there, I thought about coming back at 8:00 just to be there to talk to her. But, being a family man, I had to, be at home. But, I would have loved to have gone back at 8:00 and just been there to talk with her. And if she ever needed a hand with anything, like bringing the dishes in or whatever, I could have done that. No problem. But that's what it takes. Because we're all so wrapped up in our own mind all the time that, you need to break out of this and have conversation with somebody and talk through things. Because when you talk through it, you're letting it go. You're releasing it. You're not holding it here anymore. It's now coming out of you. So, and that can, that's a big deal. And that relates to this serenity here, because let go of what you're thinking here. Talk to somebody. Everybody's like, oh, it's always good to vent. Well, don't vent. Talk about it and then let it go. Okay, next one. The strong, calm man is always loved and revered. He is like a shade-giving tree in a thirsty land, or a sheltering rock in a storm. Who does not love a tranquil heart, a sweet-tempered, balanced life? It does not matter whether it rains or shines, or what changes come to those who possess these blessings, for they are always serene and calm. That exquisite poise of character that we call serenity is the last lesson of culture. It is the flowering of life, the fruitage of the soul. It is precious as wisdom, more desirable than fine gold. How insignificant mere money seeking looks in comparison with a serene life, a life that dwells in the ocean of truth, beneath the waves, beyond the reach of the tempest, in the eternal calm. Doesn't that sound wonderful? A life that dwells in the ocean of truth, beneath the waves, beyond the reach of tempests, in the eternal calm. You know, if you think about it, if you were a fish in the ocean, you're just floating there. No worries. Like a whale shark. A whale shark is huge. It just spends its time in the ocean just wandering around. It's not worried about anything. It's just being. It does not matter whether it rains or shines. You know how people always complain about the weather? Oh, it's like right now it's snowing outside. You know? People, when seasons change, or when it's raining. You know, like when it rains, to me that's awesome because now my grass is being watered, my flowers are being watered, and I don't have to do it. It's automatically being done for me. And that's going to make a healthier and happier lawn. A beautiful, luscious, green, soft lawn for me to lie on the next sunny day. And I enjoy cutting the grass, so that's not a big deal either. But yeah, it's snowing outside. So when you look at the weather, what are your first thoughts? Are your first thoughts, oh great, I got to drive in this. Oh man, it's going to be cold. Oh man, I'm going to have to shovel. I enjoy shoveling the snow. And when I see it snowing outside, I think of tobogganing and hockey and skating and doing fun things with my kids, building snowmen, snow forts, that type of thing, snow angels. And one of the fun things to do is just now that I got ski pants, is just to put your ski pants on. And if it's a clear sky, go outside, make a snow angel, and just lay in the snow and look at the stars. Do that. Your mind won't be on anything else. You'll just be looking at the stars and realizing how beautiful they are. So, with how everybody says life is so short, then why complain about everything if life is so short? What are you grateful for? That should be your focus. What are you grateful for? There's and the way we look at it too is there's people out there that don't get to experience snow. Right? Like I have a friend and where she's from, it would be summertime for Christmas. What's going on, Zach? Love you too, man. Yeah, we're just getting through this. You'll have to go back and start the video over again, but we're talking about serenity. And, the last paragraph I read, you'll have to just check it out. But it's all about, not complaining about the small things, not enjoy what you have, enjoy what you're experiencing in your life. Don't focus on everything that, Yeah, brother. So, so that exquisite poise of character that we call serenity is the last lesson of culture. It is the flowering of life, the fruitage of the soul. It is precious as wisdom, more desirable than fine gold. How many people in the world want to just relax and not worry about things? And because you choose if you want to make a small little insignificant thing into a huge massive deal where you can make the biggest problem into a grain of salt and then have it disappear like putting it in some water. It's your choice whether you want that to happen. Okay, next one. How many people we know who sour their lives, who ruin all that is sweet and beautiful by explosive tempers, who destroy their poise of character and make bad blood? It is a question whether the great majority of people do not ruin their lives and mar their happiness by lack of self-control. How few people we meet in life who are well balanced, who have that exquisite poise which is characteristic of the finished character. Right? That's exactly it. How many people sour their lives who ruin all that is sweet and beautiful by explosive tempers? You know, I've changed since I've been reading this book and At Your Command and some other books that I've been reading. I changed the way I talk to my kids. You know, like for instance, the other day I saw my kids. They had Illyria has to learn some math, and what they did is they gave her a whole bunch of flashcards. Well, I was sitting on the couch with my wife and we were watching a show or whatever, and the kids were throwing the paper up in the air, right? Now, most parents would look at that like, oh, great, now I have a mess to clean up. But you know, the way I look at it now is they're having fun. They're laughing. They're happy, right? And then we come along as parents thinking that what they're doing is a big deal, but really it's not. How hard is it to clean up some paper? It's not hard to clean up paper. What we should be looking at is how much fun and the happiness our kids are experiencing while doing that. You know, and that's comes down to focusing on the solution and not the problem, because you know, yeah, if you focus on the problem, which is having to pick up the paper, but are you looking at your kids and how happy they are doing what they're doing? You know, and I always used to be like, oh, kids, go clean up your rooms. Now I just do it. And guess what? My kids just come and help. You know, I don't yell at them I don't yell, period, anymore. I don't have to. I choose not to yell. I choose it. I don't have to. You don't have to yell to get your point across. You don't. All you got to do is talk to the person respectfully and make them understand where you're coming from, and, you know, acknowledge what the situation is and what the solution is, and then move forward from that. Don't hold on to it. Right? Because that's part of learning. So, you know, how many people destroy the poise of character and make bad blood by getting so mad over what? Why are you getting mad? Why are you getting mad? You don't need to get mad. Think. Okay, next one. Yes, humanity surges with uncontrolled passion is tumultuous with governed grief, is blown out about by anxiety and doubt. Boom, right there. Humanity surges with uncontrolled passion, with ungoverned grief, is blown about by anxiety and doubt. Only the wise man, only he whose thoughts are controlled and purified, makes the winds and the storms of the soul obey him. Wow. So just looking at the world today, you know, everybody's talking about mental health. Anxiety, depression, whatever. Well, if you think about it, what are you thinking when you say, like, what are you thinking about? I don't want to put it in a way that it's going to cause you to think. But those people, they're thinking about that word depressed. They're saying the arrangement, what you need to say, which is I am, and then whatever word. So you're creating that experience, and that's the problem. It is so simple. It is so simple that all it takes is just a switch in here. Boom, your life is changed forever. Forever. What do you want to experience in life? Do you want to experience love and happiness and prosperity and joy and all the good things? Well, then think about it. If you sit around and you think bad things, that's what you're going to experience. You know? And I had a conversation with a friend, and you know, I remember they told me that they drank so much because that's when their brain would shut off. Right? If you think about it, you're trying to shut this off. What's the easiest way to shut this off? Get blackout drunk. And then it's shut off. You know, and when I think about it and I look back, like everybody, you know, you come across people that say you don't need to drink to have fun. And that's true, you don't. And when I think about it, that was just an experience going through life, right? And that's where it comes down to influence. How others influence you, right? Or you can call it peer pressure. But if you know who you are, then you don't have to change yourself because of what they want, right? Because what they're trying to do is they want you to be like them. They want to see you the same way that, you know, that they're experiencing life. Or however, that, you know, I need to think a little bit about that one a little bit more. But man, all those people that, you know, sit and sulk and whatever, you know, like, don't do that. What makes you happy? What is your passion? That's why you got to set goals and have objectives, right? Because if you don't, then your mind just wanders, and then you're pondering about things that are so insignificant that you make them a huge deal, and then boom, they become a huge deal. So really, think about what you're thinking about. Be aware of what you're thinking. It's not as hard as you think it is, because it's only as hard as you think it is. You want it to be extremely hard to do, to change this, then guess what? It's going to be hard then. It's easy. It's easy. I've done it. And I'm not going back. I'm never going back, period. Why would I want to? I want to experience everything that's amazing in the world. I'm not going to sit around and make small little insignificant problems blow up huge and then make it into a giant problem that just snowballs out of control. Jesus, that is huge. It surges with uncontrolled passion, with ungoverned grief, and is blown about by anxiety and doubt. Holy Jesus. Man. It makes me sad thinking about that. Because it's so easy to change. It's so easy to change. Excuse me. Yeah, so it takes work. It does. You have to be aware and pay attention to what you're thinking and catch yourself. And once you become conscious of this and that everything you think here projects itself, because the cause and effect is absolute and undeviating in the hidden realm of thought as it is in the world of visible and material things. That should be one of the things that you write down. Boom, right there. The other thing you should write down is 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts a day. 80% are negative, 95% are repetitive. Your life will never change. And that study's been done by many universities. They even correlate the thoughts and internal dialogue that you have with yourself and the effects on the body. If you go to the doctor and the doctor can't find out what's wrong, it's what you're thinking here. How many people go to the doctor and, they have somebody say, like for instance, I have a friend. They said he'll never be able to go to the gym again. He didn't believe them. He's like, no, I am going back to the gym. I am. And guess what? He's crushing it in the gym. Crushing it. Doctors are like, yeah, you're not going to be able to do this, and this. Oh, bullshit. Pardon my language. You choose whether you're going to let that doctor tell you what you're capable of, because only you know what you're capable of. He doesn't. Okay, I think this is the last paragraph. Sorry, I went off on a rant there, but this stuff really, I love this stuff so much that, Okay, so next one. Tempest-tossed souls, wherever you may be, under whatever conditions you may live, know this. In the ocean of life, the isles of blessedness are smiling, and the sunny shore of your ideal awaits your coming. Keep your hands firmly upon the helm of thought. In the core of your soul reclines the commanding master. He does not but sleep. Wake him. Self-control is strength. Right thought is mastery. Calmness is power. Say unto your heart, peace, be still. Keep your hands firmly upon the helm of thought. Steer your life in the direction where you want it to go. In the core of your soul reclines a commanding master. He does but sleep. Wake him. Self-control is strength. Right thought is mastery. Calmness is power. And when I came to this realization, I cried, man. I cried. It just happened. I just started crying. Realizing that there's nobody else can change my life but me. There's no outside circumstances for anything. Nothing. And when you realize that your life is based upon what you're putting here, wouldn't you want that to change? Wouldn't you just change that in an instant? I did. I was like, holy F. That's it? And I'm like, I need to know more. And I've read over 5 books now. I've read over 5 books. I have a book where I'm breaking down every single book that I have read, paragraph by paragraph, so I can understand it better, so that I can explain it in a way that maybe one of you will grasp it. Because that's what it took for me. And I'll never forget the words. You are not your brain. Your brain is a muscle that you use to serve you. It's just like a bicep. You want bigger biceps, what do you got to do? You got to go to the gym and work out. Put in the work. You want to take control of your life? Put the work in, man. Put it in there. Get some books. Read some books. Talk to people about this. And if you find a group of people that are in the same mindset that you are, keep them close. And talk about it daily. That's why I do these videos. It's a constant reminder that there's nobody else in control of my life but me and my thoughts. Let me read a paragraph from one of my books that I'm reading right now. Okay, this book is The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard. It's an amazing book. Where is it? Consequently, what appears to you as circumstances, conditions, and even material objects is really only the product of your own consciousness. This. And then, you and your environment cannot be regarded as existing separately. You and your world are one. Therefore, you must turn from the objective appearance of things. Objective is outer pen, to the subjective center of things, which is your mind. Subjective means mine. Your mind, the subjective center of things. You are the center of your world. Does that make sense? You're the center of it. You're creating the experiences in life as you think. Isn't that amazing? That's amazing. You know, people are magicians, and you got people that are clairvoyant, and people who are in tune with their intuition. Well, people who are clairvoyant are so mentally sound that they're seeing they can see what's happening already before it even happens. It's amazing. So, turn from the objective appearance of things to the subjective center of things, your consciousness. If you truly desire to know the cause of the phenomena of life and how to use this knowledge to realize your fondest dreams, in the midst of the apparent contradictions, antagonisms, and contrasts of your life, there is only one principle at work, only your consciousness operating. Difference does not consist in variety of substance, but in the variety of the arrangement of the same cause substance, your consciousness. Boom! The one cause substance is I am. Man, this book is unbelievable. Let me read this to you. I'm going to finish this off. I know we just finished As Man Thinketh by James Allen, but I'm just going to read this to you to help you understand. I am's concept of itself that determines the form and scenery of its existence. Everything depends upon its attitude towards itself. That which it will not affirm as true of itself cannot awaken in its world. That is your concept of yourself, such as I am strong, I am secure, I am loved, determines the world in which you live. In other words, when you say I am a man, I am a father, I am an American, you are not defining different I ams, you are defining different concepts or arrangements of the one cause substance, the one I am. Who do you say you are? Who do you say you are? If you say I am and a crappy word or a word that you shouldn't say, boom, that's what you are. That's what you'll experience. And it's crazy how easy that is. But in paragraph number 36 of the book of At Your Command, it states that it's as easy to possess these thoughts as it is to possess the other ones. But man complicates things because we think that it shouldn't be as easy as it is. Everything isn't hard. Everything doesn't have to be hard. You make it hard because what are you thinking here? This is too hard. This is too hard. This is too hard. Then boom, guess what? It's too hard. Does that make sense? My God, man. It's crazy. Zach, I love you so much for getting me involved with this. You and this program have changed my life forever. This is unbelievable. I say that because nobody believes. Right? There's too much conditioned. They call it a cell phone because you're trapped. You're trapping your mind with your cell phone because you're not actually aware of what you're thinking. You're mindless. You're scrolling. You're flipping through videos. You're diving down YouTube, and that's fine as long as you're doing something and you're aware of what you're watching and you're not allowing it to be absorbed into your brain, because that's what happens. And I'll give you an example. One of my old financial advisors, me and Susie just had a kid, and my financial advisor put it the best way. A child is like a blank hard drive. They download whatever they see. They download whatever they see. So if you get mad at a child and you yell at them, what are you teaching them? I can't do it anymore. There's no way I'm going to look at my kids and I'm going to yell at them anymore. I don't have to. All I have to do is just pull them back and realize and get them to think about what they're thinking and what the cause of that thinking is. And I've done it. My son sat down at dinner time. We made chicken pot pie for dinner. And he looked at it and there was something off with him because he was continuously whiny throughout the night. So at dinner time I was like, dude, what's going on? Why are you whining like this? Why are you acting like this? And then he kind of just sat there and he's like, well, I don't want anybody to be at the table while I eat. And I'm like, okay. So me, my wife, and my daughter, we finished eating. We left the table. I went upstairs. Susie came upstairs. We were talking. And guess what? He came upstairs and said, hey, Dad, I ate all my dinner. And I'm like, perfect. Now you can have that granola bar and that cookie that you wanted. And then he went and he got an orange. And then he got his orange. And I'm like, and then you have to point it out. You have to point it out. Be like, look at, you changed your way of thinking. You ate your dinner. You got the granola bar. You got the cookie. And you got the orange. I'm like, you did that. You decided that you didn't want to be stuck at the table and looking at food. And that you didn't want to eat. You ate it. Was it good? He said yes. And then, boom, pointing it out to a child so that they understand that what they do here. And the beautiful thing about my kids is that they're talking to their friends about what I'm talking about with you. And perfect example. My daughter's talking to her friend. And I'm like, that's great. And I'm like, well, he's using it at school. And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, you need to go up and ask his dad how he's doing at home. And guess what? His dad said he's seen a change. He's seen a change. Boom! Man! It's amazing, dude. And this isn't the first time I've seen it happen. I have a neighbor friend, and he has a neighbor. He actually likes my page. I didn't ask to use his name, so I won't use it. But I talked to him, and I started explaining this stuff to him. And when I talk to certain people about this stuff, I can tell whether they get it, right? Or they don't. And that's fine, because that's your choice. You can either understand what I'm trying to say or you don't. That's okay. That's your choice. But I could tell just by looking, I could feel his energy. I could feel him vibrating just as much as I was vibrating. And then guess what? He started applying the stuff that I was telling him. And he came to me a week later saying that he had 4 job offers as soon as he finished high school. And one of them was in a place that he said he wanted to go. I see him now. I talk to him now. I'm like, how's life? He's like, fantastic, man. Why would you want it any other way? Right? When people ask me at work, how's it going? It's going great. Fantastic. I always say fantastic. It's fantastic. Fantastic. Why? Because I'm in control here. That was a good video. I really hope more and more people begin to understand, because you choose the life you want to lead. Well, with that being said, I will start the book at your command tomorrow and finish that one up. Well, start it. But yeah, if you don't have the book As Man Thinketh by James Allen, go get it. If you want to know more, just watch the videos over again. I've numbered it so it's easy to figure out which one's number 1 and how the book breaks down. Go watch the videos over again. And like I've said in other videos, if you have any questions, message me. I will answer. I will try to help you understand. Right? Hell yeah. Yeah, dude. It's like this is understanding the phenomena of life. Because, you know, I've sat there and I've thought, there's got to be more to life than this. There's got to be more to life than this. Like, this can't be it. And then, you know, everything happened. Like, Zach, me and you, that one day, I'm not going to get into details, but you know that day when we were standing outside the mall and we're all dressed up. What were we saying, man? What were we saying outside that mall? And now look at where we are, dude. Look at where we are. I'm going to say it again. It's unbelievable, man. And I get emotional because I care. I care so much for everybody. Nobody has to experience any hardships in life. Stop watching the news. Stop reading stuff that you shouldn't be reading. If you're not mentally sound here and you're just going to absorb it, because when you read, are you reading out loud or are you reading in here? Right? If you're reading in here. But you have to be aware. You can read any book you want. But you have to be aware, you know. Don't let it sit in here if it's something that shouldn't be sitting in there. When you have conversations with people, don't allow them to influence your view of something. You know what you think. You know how you feel. You know who you are. Right? Like, look at this. Where are they? Oh, they're in my coat. But I keep pieces of paper with all the I ams, all my I ams, like just everything. And when you find yourself, you know, starting to drift or to wander, pull them out, read them, refocus, and then carry on with your day. But yeah, I got some things to do, but that was a great video. Thanks for joining, Zach and Nadia, and whoever else is watching this video, whether it's now or later, it don't matter as long as you watch it. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. I know you will, as will I. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow around 8:30, 9 o'clock. Have a great day.